Welcome to WatchMojoUK, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 greatest British foods or dishes. For this list, we'll be looking at some classic staples of UK cooking. What's your favourite UK meal and your perfect pudding? Let us know in the comments. Number 10. Toad in the Hole. We love our sausages in the UK, whether as part of a breakfast, slapped on a butty, or paired with fluffy potato to create the classic bangers and mash. One traditional sausage dish that still survives today is the humble toad in the hole. It's not the most appetising of names, but otherwise, what's not to like about sausages baked in Yorkshire pudding batter? This simple meal is quick to make and especially tasty when paired with onion gravy. Toad in the hole began popping up in the 18th century as a way for poor families to stretch out meagre meat portions. It wasn't always made with sausage. One early recipe calls for pigeon in the hole, but nowadays it's sausage or nothing. Number 9. Haggis, neeps and tatties. A sheep's stomach stuffed with offal, onion and spices might not sound delicious, but it's actually pretty good. Haggis can sometimes be found in a full Scottish breakfast, but is most often eaten as part of the Burns night supper. Neeps and tatties, turnips and potatoes, are traditionally served alongside the haggis and washed down with a dram of whiskey. Burns night celebrates the famous Scots poet Rabbie Burns, writer of Auld Lang Syne and addressed to a haggis. The latter poem is read over the food at an annual supper, after the haggis has been piped in with great ceremony. It's possibly an acquired taste, but it's hearty fare, well suited to cold winter nights. Number 8. Steak and kidney pie. They may favour sweet pies across the pond, but in the UK, we're all about the savoury, and the meatier the better. Apple pie and custard is worth a mention too, but honestly, we're more likely to cook up a crumble. Whether you're opting for chicken and mushroom or steak and ale, serve your pie with mash or with chips, and don't stint on the gravy. A pork pie eaten as a snack is one of life's great pleasures, but steak and kidney is the real classic. The combination of that rich, meaty filling, thick gravy, and golden brown pie crust is utterly mouth-watering, especially if the pie is homemade. Number 7. Trifle. Originating in England, the trifle has had some success as a children's party favourite, but really, it's adults who love this indulgent confection of jelly, fruit and cream. That might have something to do with the amount of booze it's acceptable to pour into these things. Although the recipe can vary greatly, versions of this layered pudding began making cookery book appearances back in the 16th century. The trifle's glory days may be behind it, but as it's easily rustled up and always looks impressive, we doubt it'll disappear anytime soon. In fact, in 2022, a new variation on the dessert, including lemon Swiss roll, white chocolate and amaretti biscuits, was chosen as the official platinum pudding to commemorate the Queen's Jubilee. Number 6. Shepherd's pie and cottage pie. When it comes to the nation's favourite pies, some of our most beloved are not really pies at all. Shepherd's pie and cottage pie are established family favourites made from mincemeat topped with mashed potato and cooked in the oven. Many of us think of the two pies as interchangeable, but supposedly shepherd's pie uses lamb, hence the name, while cottage is traditionally made with beef mince. The British cousin of spaghetti bolognese and chili con carne, shepherd's or cottage pie has become a staple for many of us in the UK. However, there is a possibility that it actually originated in France. Number 5. Sticky toffee pudding. Compared to some of the distinguished dishes on this list, sticky toffee pudding is a bit of a newfangled invention, coming to popularity in the 1970s. The Aussies and the Kiwis call it sticky date pudding, but we can claim the recipe as our own. The modern incarnation traces back to a hotel in Cumbria, although one pub in Yorkshire claims they were serving it back in 1907. A good sticky toffee pudding consists of a light, moist sponge made with chopped dates and seasoned with nuts or spices. It's doused in toffee sauce and served with vanilla ice cream or custard. There's no British delicacy that feels more indulgent, but if you want a quick fix, you can even make it in the microwave. Number 4. Chicken tikka masala. Considered by some as our national dish, yes really, this mild chicken curry is Britain's favourite Indian meal, but it's not really Indian at all. Inspired by butter chicken, it's believed to have been invented back in the 60s by the British South Asian community. Was it the Bangladeshi migrant chefs, the British Pakistanis from Glasgow, or the Indian cook from London with the can of Campbell's soup? Whichever apocryphal tale is the true version, we can safely say that chicken tikka masala was designed to be marketed to Brits. Not too spicy and swimming in gravy, the tomato and chicken based dish is more than a tasty takeaway classic, it's multiculturalism in action. Number 3. A full English. Breakfast is the most important meal of the day, and there's nothing more satisfying than when you get the chance to do it proper. No croissants or pancakes for us. Brits traditionally break their fast with a fry-up. Your full English should typically include sausages, bacon and eggs, mushrooms, fried bread, fried or grilled tomatoes, black pudding, and maybe a hash brown or two. The Scottish add haggis, white pudding, oatcakes or tatty scones. The Welsh occasionally include cockles and laverbread, and an Ulster fry might be served with soda bread or potato cakes. Whatever part of the UK you hail from, it's widely understood that a fry-up is the food of the gods, a reliable hangover cure, and a great British institution. Number 2. A Sunday roast. Talking of British institutions, let's take a minute to celebrate the traditional Sunday roast. Many households still sit down to a roast dinner on a Sunday afternoon, and pubs do a roaring trade in carveries for Sunday lunch. The Great British Roast is basically a less fancy version of your classic Christmas dinner. Roasted meat, Yorkshire puddings, roast potatoes and veg are your basic components. Gravy and stuffing are recommended, and of course, whatever sauce goes best with your meat of choice. Whether you're tugging into chicken, lamb or a bit of roast beef, the plates are piled high and soon scraped clean.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 1. Fish and chips. We've covered breakfast and Sunday dinner, but what about those evenings when you just can't be bothered to cook? What about days out by the seaside or Friday nights in front of the telly? That calls for a trip to the chippy. Our beloved fish and chip shops have been here since the 1860s, and they're everywhere you look. Battered fish deep fried in oil, hot chips served with gravy, curry sauce or lashings of salt and vinegar. What could be more comforting? Traditionally, fish and chips were eaten on a Friday, partly due to the Catholic custom of eschewing meat on that day, but there is no bad time to indulge in this iconic combination.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojoUK and subscribe for more great content.